Hey, it's me, unapologetically T, my bad. Unapologetically T, and I literally wanted to come in and talk about today, like being out of touch with reality and where that comes from, like that saying comes from and all that stuff. I really don't know the historical point of view, but I can only talk to you about what it means to me. And it would be interesting to know historically, like, who started saying, like, being out of touch with reality. But for me, in the culture I grew up in, being out of touch with reality was typically used to talk about certain, government officials or certain people in places of power who literally make decisions for people underneath them. And because we live in a hierarchical society, literally you have these people making decisions for people who they deem underneath them, whether it be classism, social economic status, race, any of it. So literally it could be sexual, it could be a slew and a combination of things. It doesn't just have to be one. So literally that's what that saying means to me. And so now that you understand what it means to me, I wanted to talk about being out of touch with reality. And it came up for me because I have been so isolated and away from everything, and I have been very, very selective about what I feed my consciousness, and that's down to turning on the news. Literally, I be having to turn the news off, and it's weird because I have this Samsung TV, and automatically the news come up, and I can change the station, but I have yet to change it and sit there and twiddle with the thing. But that is the first thing that comes up. It's not the TV thing, it's from the Samsung TV. So I literally have to be like, up, we're gonna, move along. I do catch sometimes some snippets of shit, and I'm just like, what in the complete explicitive is going on? and I'm wondering, for those who do consume this, like, how do you sit and watch this shit without, organizing? Because baby, if I'm gonna watch it, I'll have to organize. Like, what am I watching this for if it's not to find the weak spots? But that's just me. I could care less. I trust God, and I trust that, we all have our missions, and we all, have our jobs to do. And, that's that. Right now, I'm being afforded the opportunity to isolate, and I didn't like it at first, but I'm gonna take that and be grateful for it. So what triggered it is just that very thing, is that my reality right now is not the reality of other people. And realizing that there are so many realities right now going on. Like, we literally have individual realities, we have shared realities, we have and when I think of reality, I think of your worldview, your life view, like what you are experiencing, what you are going through right now. That is your reality. Our realities all look different sometimes, and sometimes we have similarities, and we're also going to have differences. And then there's, like, sometimes where we're just going to be right there, having the same fucking shared experience, but we're still sitting there viewing it from different perspectives and lenses. So, saying all of that, I am in the shared reality of I am having a hard time here surviving, like buying food and paying bills and doing those things, like trying to find the balance to be able to have fun and do things that, feed my soul, or, help me not get so bogged down by the reality that a lot of my money is going to bills. And it hurts, it saddens me. And so literally I have that shared reality with many Americans right now, that the money isn't adding up. I had a shared reality with you all about the workplace, but I decided that, you know, I couldn't do it anymore. But, you know, being an entrepreneur comes with a lot of other things. However, I do feel like I made the right decision, and I'd rather put my energy into me and what I got going on than to build somebody else's company that I don't even agree with. So I don't have the shared reality of how messed up the workplace is. However, I do have those past experiences. But I'm out of touch in that area. Like, what's going on in that area? Because I do see a lot of people complaining about, you know, their jobs and they're not happy there. And I understand. But I'm not there. So it's not my reality, but I still have those shared experiences that I can at least understand what you are talking about. But I don't have the shared experience of a lot of the doom and gloom that a lot of people are facing with, you know, watching closely the politicians and all that stuff. I will catch wind of an article or a snippet of something, sometimes just to keep up with what is going on, but not for the purposes of these people. I am entrusting these people to make decisions that will fix my life. Bullshit. I feel like that little girl online. Bullshit. Like, bullshit. You count me out. Trust who to fix what? They showed my ancestors from the ones they enslaved to the indigenous ones to I got a lot in here. Like, they have shown us over and over and over and over and over and over again. They care about who? Oh, because I can't do it. I can't sit here and pretend to act like these people are in touch with my reality. And I'm not saying that there aren't some decent politicians in the system. I am aware of there are some good ones. However, I was a good person in the system. Did it change the system? It might have touched some lives, but it didn't change the system. It didn't change the system. It might have touched some lives, and I think that is equally great. That there are politicians in here doing the right thing, and they are making a difference and impact on the world, on people in the world, and they're doing it on an individual level. But they can't do anything to that system, because that system was designed to be flawed. And so that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there aren't any good politicians. I'm just saying that I think you literally could put all great politicians in there who literally are in touch with the people, who literally come to represent the people. And if the system would continue to be designed the way it is, like, it would not matter. It would eat their souls. Like, it would eat majority of their souls. That's how I just view it. You can call me cynical or morbid, whatever, but I just know that the system is flawed. I've worked in many systems, and we're having a systemic problem. It is beyond banking on a Democrat or a Republican and who gonna save us and who gonna make these laws. And baby, they don't care. Like, and even if they do care, once they get in there, they gotta play ball, baby. That's how this work. That's how this work. They gotta play ball. And it amazes me a lot of times. I used to be ashamed to say this. I did not vote. And you can get fucking mad at me all you want to. I vote locally, but I did not vote president-wise. And I don't have any regrets. I been felt like this for years. I didn't vote when Biden got elected. I felt like this when President Obama was, like, when I learned real civics about how the electoral college works. I learned real civics about voting and all of that stuff. So the economic system, I learned real civics at an early age. However, I did give in to voting. And but I had made a choice as a fucking middle school 8th grader, I think, because that's when I think I learned civics. I think I was in 8th grade or 7th grade. I don't know, because I always was ahead of grade. So like math, science, history, language arts, like I always was ahead of grade. So I probably was like in the 7th grade. And I remember like saying, this shit doesn't make sense. Why would I vote? I mean, I will vote locally for the district that like serves me, the state that serves me. I find that to be a little more functioning. And then you still have nepotism in that as well. So, but I still do find like it to be a little more functioning. But we did all see what Florida did when Bush was in office. Well, he was going against, what was it? Was it Kerry? He was going against somebody. I forgot that man name. Was it Kerry? I don't remember. I'll have to look back. I know if I do a Google search, it'll come to me. But we all remember what Florida did. Like, and everybody knew. Everybody knew, and the Democrats was outraged, and like nothing happened. So when I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, whatever grade I was in, I made a vow to myself that I wasn't going to vote, because if you're going to tell me that the popular vote is the people's vote, but the electoral college can come in and elect who they want over us, what is the point? Because we don't even know who is voting for us in the electoral college. And then the electoral college has such a fucking racist history, because you got to think about the 3/5 compromise and how they once said that we didn't have souls and we weren't people, but then they turned around just so that their states could have more representation and control and in different houses and like, you know, those different votes and stuff. So like for the House of Representatives, like it's different from Senate. Senate, you just get 2 senators for each state. House of Representatives based on population. And then, you know, the Electoral College is based on population. So like they literally allowed us to be 3/5 of a people, because we were 0/5 of a person. But they allowed us to be 3/5 of a person just so that their states could literally have more population, so they could have more representation for their upper class, because this is all about classism. Like, so literally the 1% could have more representation when they sent people on the behalf. But the representation was never for us. It was never for the regular everyday common man. And so it's yeah, my ancestors fought the vote. It made sense when they fought the vote. It made sense for them to fight the vote then. For me, it doesn't fucking make sense. It makes me feel like I'm perpetuating the system, and I am waiting for a white savior who's never gonna fucking save me. And even if you put a black savior face in there, the system is rigged so that you will never save me. And I think that like we literally have to stop putting our faith and trust into man and into a system that literally is designed to keep you where you are. I worked in the school system. Like, they literally indoctrinate our children, and it's quite hilarious. And then we had to perpetuate that. There's a lot of reasons I left. Like, it just wasn't what I signed up for. I signed up to change lives. I didn't sign up to steal them. Like, I didn't sign up to dim their lights. I didn't sign up to create robots. I signed up to have critical thinking in my classroom. I signed up to be a facilitator of learner. I just was meant to help you flourish and find your way. And yes, I do believe there should be a standard of learning. However, I do not believe that all children are going to meet all those standards all the time. Like, no, every child is different, and every child has different interests, and you need to hone in on what the fuck is special about that child. A lot of these kids need love. A lot of them are simply missing fucking love, and that someone is pouring life into them and telling them that they can do this, telling them that they are bright, and setting up opportunities in the classroom or outside the classroom that allow them to see how great they fucking are. So, like, when I say these systems are flawed, like, I worked in a lot of these systems and they're heavily flawed. So no, I did not vote. When I was mad at myself because, like I said, I took a vow that I wasn't gonna vote when I was about in 7th grade. I literally knew then bullshit. I mean, I was like, where the fuck is we talking about? Like, bullshit. We don't control nothing. This is not democracy. We don't even get to choose who our presidents, like, candidates are going to be. You literally dangle the carrot of we can pick an independent party, but every year they never get to have enough votes because you have too many silly people still putting their faith in these two mainstream parties. That's not a democracy to give us two mainstream parties and never allow us to really have options outside of them. And we have to choose from the two lesser of the evils. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. If I gotta pick evil or eviler, like, I don't want it. I don't want it. And both evil gonna do evil. So, like, what's the point? Why are we arguing about who the evil is? Like, why are we doing this? So I feel like, not only are they out of touch with reality, we're out of touch with reality too, because we're out of touch with the reality of that these people are not going to save us. They're not going to change anything. And I don't support either parties, but one thing I will say is you're looking, Malcolm X said it, baby. If you haven't seen or like read the analogy about the wolf and the fox, Malcolm X said it. I don't know who said it before him, but I definitely know I remember it from Malcolm X saying it. You got the wolf and the fox. And I did a video similar on this, but it's just come back to me. So I think I just have to keep reiterating this. Nobody's coming here to save you. You must save yourself. You must realize that these systems are not designed to fucking help you. And they're designed, why would they? Like, if greed is their number one thing, why would they save you? They literally teach us the way they teach us. Like, when you're looking at the education system and you're looking at the world, and for us to be one of the greatest world powers, we're behind in education. We're behind in education. Like, there are third world countries that have better education than us. There are third world countries that know different languages than our children. Like, our children is just basically learning, English, Spanish, and you got some good schools who will teach them, like, get them options of Mandarin or German, if that. And, French and all that stuff. Like, for us, it was just, English or Spanish. And then really they didn't even really care, unless you was getting an advanced diploma, how well you knew the Spanish. So it's just like, it's bizarre to me. Like, we don't get to learn any, like, African languages. I guess they don't want us to learn African languages. They don't want us to connect with ourselves. So we don't get to learn any. It's not expansive in what we learning, and it's bullshit, because, like, they literally will have these standards. You got a lot of races as teachers who will literally cut out learning certain topics. I remember working in schools and watching white teachers complain about fucking teaching Black history. Bitch, are you crazy? Are you crazy? We are this history. We are this history. I'm sorry, you have been misinformed and mistaught, but it's like, it's sick and it's insane. I even talked to a teaching friend the other day, and she was talking about how, like, her teachers were having this planning period and they took out Molly out of it, and it's actually a standard in the Virginia State SOLs, and they purposely took Molly out and of the activity they was doing. and was saying there wasn't much to learn. What are you, bullshit? It is a lot to learn about ancient Mali. What are you talking about? And so we literally have these standards, and we're not even teaching these kids the real history of these standards. Like, you literally have a dismantling of they're taking out the black and brown people in history just to protect white fragility. They don't want their kids. This is how they perpetuate this shit. If their children don't learn the truth, their children are more complicit with being in their privilege than they are with saying something is wrong and this is not right. So that they know that. They know that if they don't teach their children the correct history, if they teach their children to be like basically lack empathy, basically I guess that would be apathetic. Like, they want them to be apathetic to other people's causes and what happened to other people's causes, and they don't want them to have the attachment that this is your legacy. That is your fucking legacy, and it is up to you to do something different about it. So like, literally, we're out of touch with reality ourselves, and they want us to be out of touch with reality. They want to be out of touch with our reality because they need people, they need workers, they need consumers, they need people to fund their greed. If you are not complicit and complacent, then you will not fund their greed. But if you are complicit and complacent, then you're going to go to work every day, and you're going to complain about your shitty job, but you're going to show up every day anyway, and they're still going to get paid off of your hard work. Most of these people they haven't even stepped foot in their establishment. Like, you got motherfuckers getting paid millions of dollars that hasn't even stepped foot in their establishment. A lot of them, since COVID, work from home, and even before then, they did what they wanted, and they're literally getting paid these fat ass salaries at the top, and they're not even doing nowhere near as much work as you. And if we want to talk about a pyramid scheme, that is a pyramid scheme if I ever seen one, but nobody really talks about it. And so I'm here to talk about it because I don't care. Like, somebody needs to talk about it. Like, literally. But yeah, just being out of touch with that, they're gonna save you. So just back to, like, I broke my own vow of I wasn't gonna vote. So I voted for Obama, and I was 18. I turned 18. I was just legally, of age to vote. I got swept up into that culture of, it's going to be our first black president. Do I regret voting a black man into office, and him in particular? No, I don't. It's history. He'll go down on a piece of paper, like, actually, unless they try to erase history again like they have in the past. Because I was taught that there was a black president that was erased out. So at a very young age, I was taught that. So literally, I cannot remember his name, but I'll look him up. God darn it, I should know his name. It's in here somewhere. I'm gonna look him up and find it. But I was taught that he was, but then I was retaught that he wasn't. And then I was just confused about it because I was like, but I was taught that it was a black president. And then, like, it was like, no, it wasn't. But a lot of this shit has been erased from the books, and we see it happening today. So am I, regretful that I elected, a black man into office? No, I'm actually happy that I was a part of history. But I am sad that I drank the Kool-Aid of, thinking that change was going to happen. There were some changes that were made, no doubt. However, he was in a system that was flawed. So, even though his intentions were well, his hands were tied. His hands were tied by a system that was flawed, and his hand was also tied by Senate. So a lot of you come to the polls and y'all vote president, but y'all won't vote local, and y'all won't vote and make sure that the Senate is won by the party that you're actually voting for. So, like, if you're voting Democrat, make sure that you're sending Democrat people to the Senate, to the House, to win over the control. But, you know, people don't know politics. They don't know politics. It is not being taught for a reason. If you don't know it, then you won't know how to play it. That is the difference between us and them. They know how to play this. And we don't, because we're not being educated properly. And so that is why a lot of countries look at us like we're dumb. And some of us aren't dumb. It's just not enough of us on the same wavelength to, you know, do some things that we would want to do. But we got to take a crack at this from the self level. You gotta get self together. Then you can help others. And I do feel like at this point, that's just my morbid, cynical view, that if you ain't woke the fuck up by now, like, if you can't see what you can see by now, I don't really know, you know. But I'm not God. I can't I can't make that statement as a fact. It's just my opinion. I just feel like if you still blind, if you still blind, I always looked at myself as like half woke. But if you still blind now, like, if you half woke, I think you got a chance. But if you still blind and you like, Master gonna save me, that's basically what y'all motherfuckers be saying. Master gonna save me. And I can't do it no more. Like, and I never could. Like I said, once again, I got caught up in propaganda and trying to make history. I got caught up in that, and that's why I voted. And I think after Hillary and Trump, like, that's when I was just like, enough is a fuck enough. Because I voted for Hillary, but I didn't even want to vote for her. I didn't want her. I wanted Bernie Sanders. And it broke my heart when I couldn't have Bernie Sanders. And I was like, but still, even if Bernie would have got in office, like, we've seen what they do to people who actually care. Like, they'll get rid of you. Like, so you really think these presidents are getting assassinated by the outside? Like, those outsiders are getting hired within. And so like, they have released the JFK files, which I have yet to look at, but I do know they have released those for his assassination. But yeah, like, these, I'm not and I'm not afraid to talk like this, because I trust God. And when it's my time, it's my time. And when it's not, it's not. Like, so I can't walk around this earth fearing man. Like, what is that? So, and I'm not saying that I have never. I'm not saying that I have never. But, like, I have to stand for what I believe in. And I believe that not only are the people who we as a whole are sitting there relying on to make things better out of touch with reality. We are very much out of touch with reality if we think these people are going to save us. They don't. That's not what their job is. Their job isn't to save us. Their job is to keep us in line with their cause. And their cause is not humanity. They've shown you. They've sent millions of dollars to fund genocide. They started this country off of fucking genocide and lies. Off of fucking pure genocide and lies. And yeah, like, they've told you that all your ancestors were enslaved and that all of you came from slavery. But they don't tell you that, you know, before your ancestors were enslaved, even if they came from Africa, that they were kings and queens, or they were noble men. They don't tell you that they were black nobles. They have stole our terminologies and all that shit. Like, and have you thinking that, baby, you are a peasant. When, no, not everyone was a king or a queen. But there were lots of nobles. There were lots of people who done different things in society. But you just wasn't just a slave. And they also tell lies about the people who were already here. They whitewashed indigenous people. And you do have a lot of white passing indigenous people to this day who drink their Kool-Aid as well. You got some that will accept the fact that that Native Americans came in all shades, and then you got some that will drink the Kool-Aid of the white man's poison and make you think that your ancestors weren't already here. It's a mixing that happened for sure. So we got some that were indigenous, some that came from different parts of this world, but a lot of us were already here. So that's that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reiterating that the black genes code all colors, shapes, and sizes, the phenotypes. If you've studied genealogy, if you've even studied like the plants, you remember in school you did the little chart and you did the little plants. Like, yeah, I did that. Not as deep. I haven't gone as deep as someone who would actually, like study and that's their life work. But I went as deep as I needed to. Like, oh, okay. So, same way, when you say dominant and recessive, like, the recessive had to come from a dominant place. Like, in order to be recessive, you came from a dominant place, like a dominant gene. Okay, all right, makes sense to me. And then not only did it make sense to me and hit home for me the way that it did for me, I didn't have proof and facts, but there were like literally people who studied this shit as life work and realized that was the truth, and they had facts to back it up. So, but this was just my little baby brain, firing off on cylinders, like, oh, in order for something to be, it had to coexist. It had to come from it. So, like, okay, whatever. But they're going to keep telling you that black is the void of color. Black is the void of light. It ain't the void of color, but it's the void of light. But, all right. Because white, they say, is purity. Color would stain that, right? So color came from black. And that's just how I see it on so many different rounds. And it's not just the science aspect, and that still is science, but it's not just that one aspect. Like, I make connections and dots that I don't always be able to prove, but I always find the proof. There's always someone else doing the work, and it comes out that, oh, like, what I was thinking was valid. And that's why I'm learning to go with what I feel. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be 100% right all the time, but I'm gonna trust me. So literally, yeah, I gave in to voting based on like trying to make, historical change and being a part of that change. But I knew deep down inside that man's hands was tied. And I stopped voting after the Hillary Trump thing. She just is bad. A lot of dirty shit was done underneath. Man, her husband, like, a lot of people was like, Clinton was this and Clinton was that. Do I agree with them trying to get him out of office because he did everything that all them other niggas be doing in office? No, because some of them be talking about they don't want gay rights, but a lot of them be right there, on those apps. They be on them apps. They be on them apps with the men. And so literally, like, you wanted me to hate him because of that, but you didn't want me to hate him because he created the 3-strike law over there in California. Like, you didn't want me to hate him because, that happened underneath his term. Yeah. We can forget. But there's a lot of things that I ain't agree with him, but a lot of black people is like, yeah, Clinton this and Clinton that. Like, I don't know. Look, I go for, like, what makes sense, and I can't trust none of y'all. I don't care if you put a black woman in office, a black man in office, an alien. Like, I don't care what you put in office. Like, it's still gonna feel lizard to me. Like, I'm being funny. I'm being funny. I've watched a lot of Inside Job. That's why I said that, but maybe I meant it. You never know with me. Like, these are intended for you to use your discernment. You have to use your discernment. You have to go do your own research. Never take what any messenger is saying always as face value or as matter of fact, always, always, always do your research. Do your research. A message could literally be for you, but not all of the message is for you. So you always have to use discernment and see what resonates for you. A lot of times we are putting messengers on a pedestal and we're not focused on the message. Focus on the message and not the messenger. Like, I am not God. Like, I am not the all to be all. And I'm gonna make mistakes. I am gonna misspeak. I am a spiritual being living a human experience, which automatically makes me flawed. So literally, and I'm not even one of the messengers that is aiming for perfection. I'm not aiming for, to look like the messenger. Like, I don't give two fucks. I am the people's messenger, matter of fact. Like, you could call me the people's messenger because, like, I just don't care. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to be more than what I am. I am what I am, and that's that. Like, I'm not sitting up here trying to compete with nobody. I'm just trying to be the best that I can be, and that's it. Don't put me on no fucking pedestal. Don't take me for everything I say. If you don't agree with me, baby, I am okay. We still can be kumbaya. You do not have to agree with everything I say. Everything I say does not have to resonate with you. We're still cool. Like, it's okay. It's a lot of people I look up to and I also see on my same playing field that I don't agree with everything they say, but I agree with some things they say, and we can agree there and we can connect there. The other stuff, that's your opinion. I know people who are in support of, banning abortions. They have their points and they have their opinions and their thoughts and their ideas on that. And do that mean I can't be, your friend? I don't think so. I think that it means that we have views that are not always equally aligned. And I'm gonna base a person off of whether I can trust you. And sometimes our views are not gonna align. Sometimes I have to work with people I don't trust. Sometimes I gotta say that. Sometimes I have to work with people I don't trust. But the way I work with people I don't trust, baby, is that I trust that you can fuck me over. Like, I trust that you can fuck me over. And I'm also getting better at, like, do I actually have to? Do I actually have to? So sometimes I have gotten to this space where, like, I'm not doing business with you. I'm not all money is good money. Like, not all money is good money. If you support pedophilia and human trafficking and all that shit, like, I can't support you. If you do not support human rights, I cannot support you. I cannot work with you, and I call that support. Me working with you, I cannot support. But when it comes to certain other aspects, I say the abortion one because I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and we was talking about this with her situation. Not her situation, like she was getting an abortion, but like she had a friend and they didn't have views aligned. But I think that for me, I'm gonna live in a world where people don't always agree with what I agree with, and that's fine. I'm gonna base people on how you're treating other people, because a lot of people are having beliefs in certain ideologies based on their life experiences and their life experiences alone, and I'm above that. And so I don't think that you're gonna be in a circle, but it doesn't mean that I can't respect you as a person. Now, if you get disrespectful with your views, and when you start to want to voice your views, you get disrespectful in voicing them, then that's when, like, you're out. But, like, I think if you can have a conversation and be mature about it, then, like, it's fine with me. You just probably wouldn't be in my close circle because, like, our views are not aligned, but that doesn't mean you're my enemy, if that makes sense. You're not my enemy, but you're not you're not in my close circle. So, but we're gonna have to work together at some point, if that makes sense. Because like, we literally got to stop dividing ourselves. We literally have to stop oppressing ourselves. And I think that a lot of that is tied to why people have such limited beliefs in certain areas. Is they've been bred for oppression, and the system is designed that way. So literally, yeah, I've stopped voting after Trump got elected against Hillary. And I used to be like, keep it to myself because people would be so appalled. And like, I remember going to the Diana Ross concert and I was telling my friends, I'm not voting. And like, not only did they look at me like I was crazy, like the ladies that like were next to them, like they looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, I'm looking at y'all like y'all crazy, because y'all literally acting like it didn't change last year. It didn't change the year before last. It didn't change. Like, y'all literally elected that man in the office, and that man played in y'all motherfucking face. Biden played in black people's face. I'm sorry. Somebody got said. Biden played in y'all face. And that does not mean because I said Biden played in y'all face that Trump is the next best thing. That means that I don't fuck with none of this shit. That's what that means. I don't have my faith nowhere in that system with those people, those places, or those things, okay? So when y'all look at me like I'm crazy because I said I didn't vote, to each his own. To each his own. You keep perpetuating and playing in this system and expecting these people to do what they need to do, and you complain each and every fucking year. I remember they used to tell me, oh, well, if you didn't vote, then you can't complain. I feel like if you voted, shut the fuck up. Because you put us in this situation. You played the game. You played the game and you put us here. Because what if we all would have went on strike and said we ain't voting and nobody voted and it was just the electoral college results? They probably still would have got on TV and made it seem like people was voting. Because I know they lied during, man, it was Thanksgiving. Do you know these people on the news station, they literally put up an old fucking clip of people in the store shopping for Black Friday. And like, you could tell it was an old clip, and they was trying to act like this was the people out there shopping for Black Friday, when the average American, number one, couldn't afford to really shop like they used to for Black Friday. And then, not only that, the average American shops online, bitch. Like, so why is you lying? And this clip is old. Nobody was lined up and all that shit. Not where we were from. And I can't speak to other places. I'm speaking from where I was from. I literally went to the store that day and, like, nobody was shopping. Nobody was in there shopping like the old Black Friday. So I'm like, oh, so, like, the media is, like, literally, they'll tell you what they want to tell you. Like, they'll tell you who voted Trump in so that you can be angry at certain demographics. They'll tell you certain shit, and like you feed into it, you get angry, and you exert your energy, and you feed your energy to the system. Like, they're harvesting your energy, your fear. It reminds me of like Monsters Inc. and how they were stealing the kids' screams. That's what they're doing. They're stealing your screams. And yeah, you're mad at people like me who say, hey, I don't want to participate. I don't want to participate. I would like to create my own systems that will actually make a difference and heal. And healing comes in so many different ways. Like, I am a actual healer where I am like, you can see that I actually want to heal. But you have healers who create programs. It might not even be that, like, the Reiki or any of that stuff. It might be someone having a community, a nonprofit, and they talk to the youth. Somebody, going out into the communities, period, and giving food or seeing what resources are needed. I'm sorry, it's a waltz, and homie don't play that because hey, get. Hey, nah, I got stung by him before, and I ain't playing that. Like, that shit hurt. So Ooh, uh, he gave me a flashback. I got stung by a wasp at a very early age, and that shit was crazy. And then I got stung. It was a yellow. No, I got stung by the wasp when I was younger, and then I got stung by a yellow jacket when I was living in Church Hill. That shit was crazy. But like, I feel like with those stings, like it's it's very intense when it first happened, and then it's sore after, and then I have to take an allergy pill because I'm not anaphylactic, but I do have a reaction. So, I don't want to. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So, anyway, I don't even know where I was at. That wasp came over here interrupting shit, and so I'm gonna try to recall my thoughts. Let me pause. So yeah, for those who are upset with the people who actually are saying, hey, look, I see that the systems are flawed. I'm going to create my own systems, and I'm not going to participate in the system anymore because I believe in separation at this point. And I think a lot of people hear separation and they think separation means segregation. And separation doesn't mean segregation for me. Separation means that literally I don't want to play ball with the systems that are oppressing me, and I don't want to play ball with the people who playing ball with the system that are oppressing. And granted, I do know that there are some people who are meant to play ball in those systems. Don't get it twisted. Thank you for everything that you do. You're doing God's work in a hellish system. So I'm not talking about them, even though some of them do perpetuate this stuff, even though they are really helping other people. But what I mean is that don't judge me because I see things differently than you see them. The same way I don't try to judge you. When people tell me that they're going to vote, I try not to scoff at you. I try to just listen to your concerns and all that stuff. This video, I have definitely let it out because I feel like a lot of y'all are being nasty to people who are trying to put a new idea out there and say, hey, look, it's not working what you're doing. You and your ancestors and my ancestors and everybody else's ancestors have been doing this for years, and it's not changing anything. Can't say it's not changing anything, but you have seen how this man has just took all the change that did happen. And it wasn't a lot of change, but he took all the change that did happen and reversed that shit in a day. So it's not working, and we have to remember that there was a time that you did need to vote because they were trying to keep you out of voting. They were creating these literacy tests that they couldn't even pass. They literally were trying to keep our ancestors out of vote, and it literally was a great accomplishment for them to get the right to vote, but things have changed. Vote locally. I wouldn't say stop voting locally. Now, if they start rigging local votes, why participate if they're gonna rig it? And they have done shit to rig it. They have literally, made sure that, they did all kind of little laws like the ID law and all that shit, and then this and all kind of stuff. I done seen them come and lock people up after they done told them that their rights was restored to vote. Like, they were doing all kind of scare tactics for local voting, and presidential. However, we all know that the presidential vote, the electoral college holds more weight. So don't talk to me about my ancestors would be turned over in their grave. My ancestors are telling me to stop fucking being complicit with a system that slaughtered them. If they did not slaughter them physically, they slaughtered them mentally. They stole their soul. They stole their hope. They tried to. That's what I'm being told. They tried to. So my ancestors is telling me no. I don't know whether you connected to your ancestors or not, or whether you just use that to try to make other people feel bad. But my ancestors, which I know were fighters, I have explained all the horrific fucking shit in my bloodline, but I have yet to tell you about those who were great, because I don't know of them besides within here. I just only know a few of them, but I don't know of all of them. But my ancestors had to be great because I'm fucking great. And yeah, there was a lot of filth in our bloodline and lineage, and it came from colonization. Get it? Get it? So my ancestors are telling me that that was for a certain time period. This time period is different, and we must look at things differently. We must look at things differently. We're not undermining the work that has been done because the president has already done it. Like, he's already done it. So, literally, like he told y'all, what do y'all have to lose? I think he said that. You ain't never had shit. He ain't said verbatim, but he said something in the lines of you ain't never had shit and never gonna have shit. What you got to lose? What do you got to lose? Like, at this point, like, what do you have to lose? Like, we're fighting to live. We're fighting to live. We're fighting to live. We're fighting to live. And I'm not fighting to live anymore. Like, I'm gonna live. And I'm going to let God guide me on this journey. I'm going to let God and my spirit squad guide these words that come out of my mouth. And I also have self-control. So this is, I feel all of the things that I'm saying, and whatever resonates with you, but that's that. So being out of touch with reality looks a lot of different ways. The purpose of this one was the people that are representing us are out of touch with reality, but so are we. And being out of touch with reality can be multi-dimensional in thinking. So, like, I am out of touch with anybody new who I meet, reality that is not aligned with mine. And only way I can step into that reality is by listening to them and taking in their point of view. It doesn't mean that it becomes mine. It just means that I am standing at their vantage point, viewing things from where they view it. And a lot of us have yet to been able to do that. I take that as a blessing and a gift, and I pray God allows me to continue to have that. But if you want to be out of touch with reality, you're going to remain out of touch with your own reality, plus the reality that's happening around you, because there's so many realities happening around us. It's just like the concept of everybody saying everybody has dreams and we're all living our dream life. And some people are a part of your dreams, in the sense that, like, it's a dream for them to be a part of your life. And then there are people where it is a dream come true for you to be in a part of their life. And all these, I look at it as the same thing as realities. Like, we're living so many different realities, and not enough of us are in touch with realities outside of ourselves. And we're gonna have to start having conversations with each other, or I don't even think it's an or to that. We're gonna have to. And I think survival of the fittest is gonna kick in if we don't start having these goddamn conversations. Because, like, this stuff can't come. This stuff cannot come with us. I'm a very big component of, like, a believer of New Earth, and this old shit can't come. These old outdated thoughts and ideas and way we handle things and one-sided views and only having one reality way of thinking, it can't come. Oppression can't come either. That's law. Nobody deserves to be oppressed. Humanity should be key. And just start realizing what is your reality, number one. I had to learn that. I was seeing everybody else's reality, but I wasn't honoring my own. And so, like, number one, start with your reality. But if you're a person who are already stuck in your own reality, you probably want to branch out and start tapping into other people's reality and just hearing people out. It doesn't mean that you have to absorb their views, believe their views, but it does mean that you have to start seeing other vantage points. That's the only way you can know what you need to know. That's the only way we can collaborate. We need collaboration more than ever now. And I think those who aren't willing to collaborate with each other aren't going to make it. So, like I said, I never know why these videos be happening. All I know is, like, I was sitting down on the lawn and I was meditating, and it was like, it came to me. I wrote it down because I was journaling first, and then I was meditating, and then it came to me, and I wrote that down, and I was like, just do a video, let it go where it go. All I had was the topic. And that's that.